Hello, Taurus. Here's your reading for April. These are general, so take what works and what doesn't work, doesn't work. And I'm sorry if you hear the dog, he heard something outside and now he's upset. So, okay, Jesse, it's okay. We're doing Taurus's reading. You need to calm down. Anyway, let's get started and let's see what the cards have to say for you. First up, you have the Nine of Swords. Next, you have the Three of Wands. Then you have the Magician. Your challenge for the month is the Three of Swords in reverse. And what is recommended for you is the Three of Wands. So I feel like whatever this represents for you, it's been something that's been causing you a lot of problems, a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights. So this situation, whatever this is, you've been kind of dealing with it in the past. I feel like it's been a little bit lingering. Sometimes these situations seem to take forever. Sometimes they don't get really fully closed out quickly. So whatever situations that's been kind of haunting you, or I don't want to say plaguing you, but just really causing you a lot of stress, a lot of like kind of this anxiety, you go to sleep, you're thinking about it, you wake up, it's kind of on your mind again. It's been something, I really feel like it's been, I don't want to say stuck to you for a while, but it's just been a little bit, I guess like a ghost. It's haunting you. I think though that this month you're going to start to move forward. Like you're planning how to resolve it. I think with whatever you're doing, you're actually starting to take the steps and the initial plans to kind of move beyond it. So you're figuring out how to resolve the situation. Either it's something that you have to resolve or it's something that you can just move from. It might have been haunting you, but you're deciding that you can't keep it stuck to you any further and you need to start moving on, the healing from it and just moving forward, picking up the pieces and then just moving on. So I think this is really, really positive. And with the Magician here, this is saying that you have everything you need to move forward. Whatever this is, you have everything you need. I don't want to say that you're going to fix it, but you have everything you need to kind of either build a new life or build upon a situation or resolve something. Like you have all the pieces that you need. So I think you're going to be kind of trying to figure out how to move past whatever's been plaguing you. Or sometimes these situations though, it's almost like you have a problem and you don't know how to fix it. So I think you might be even in the troubleshooting aspects a little bit of like, okay, this is going on. How do I resolve this? What is the solution? So you might be kind of trying to figure out the best steps forward. But to me, this is saying that you have everything that you need right now, or you will have everything you need to really push past this and push past it effectively. So, and this is not always easy. With the Magician, I think sometimes it takes a lot of troubleshooting, because let's say if you want to think about the Magician, he has all these tools, he has everything, but he needs to figure out how to combine them together to put on the magic show, to get the rabbit out the hat or whatever you want, to manifest however it is. So within that, there's a lot of planning, and planning is not always like cut and dry. It's not always A to B, sometimes, like you got to go over here to go over there to go over there to get to where you need to go. And it's trial and error. So I think you're going to be, though, within that trial and error, you're going to be kind of, I don't want to say playing around, but you're going to be trying to figure out the best combination, in a sense, to move forward. But in the reverse challenging position, you have the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords in reverse is a positive card in some aspects. It's about kind of leaving things behind, like old wounds behind. It's about healing. It's about forgiveness, which I definitely think this is recommended for you, is something you might have to heal from, or you need to forgive yourself or forgive another person. That doesn't mean forget, but sometimes if you can kind of put something away mentally, it's not plaguing you, and it's not haunting you anymore. It's easier said than done. But this also could be that your challenge is to not get in your head and talk negatively to yourself. Because sometimes when this is reversed, it's a lot about like not necessarily external heartbreaks. It's about now you're you're getting down on yourself mentally and you're feeling you're not good enough, or you're judging yourself too harshly. So I kind of feel like the Three of Swords and the Nine of Swords kind of go hand in hand in a sense. Because where there's anxiety and sleepless nights and fears, there's often this negative self-talk and this kind of like, oh, this is self-doubt type of thing. So I think you're going to have to really somehow figure out a way past that, because with the Three of Wands here being what's recommended for you, this is another Three of Wands here. You have it twice. So it's recommended that you continue planning forward. You continue to move in a new direction. You continue to figure out the steps to get to where you want to go or to what you want to achieve. Like whatever has been haunting you and plaguing you, I think now is the time that you really start pushing past that. One way or another, you can't let it keep haunting you anymore. You need to try to move forward the best you can. Not always easy. Easier said than done, but it's still good advice. So let's see what else we get for you guys. Okay, first up, we have Mouse Spirit. Tend to the small things. And I really feel like this is saying that sometimes I know with myself, like if I get in my head, I get in my head all the time, like with the anxiety and the fear, the worry, everything. Sometimes when you just focus on the little good things that are happening around you, it helps you not totally maybe shift out of that negative energy, but it helps distract you for a moment. Like I have fish. I have 2 goldfish, these fancy goldfish. They're not that fancy, but they're little, like the telescope-eyed ones. I love them so much, and they're characters. I have a couple snails in the tank and everything, and there's like a lot of drama in that tank. The snails try to dive bomb the fish. One of the fish, I call him Jax, is always like up in the snails business. He's always like looking. I think it might actually be a female, but he's always, I'll call him he, whatever. He always is kind of out there looking at all these snails, seeing what everybody's doing. And it's just, but they're so beautiful to watch. They're so relaxing for me to just watch the fish and the snails. And even I have little plants in there that are doing really well. And I just enjoy it so much. So to me, that's a small thing that I can kind of take a few minutes, look at my little fish, and see how they're doing. They're doing really good. And I could enjoy that. So it takes me away from all my stress, all the things going on, all the things I feel are plaguing me. Because a lot of times these things that are plaguing me are not necessarily based in reality 100%, but it's my fears. It's just the way I am. I have a lot of this anxiety. I have a lot of this fear all the time. So it's something that for me, I know I have to work on. So I think this is saying that there might be something in your life that you actually truly enjoy. And if you kind of just focus on certain little things that are going well, or certain little things that bring you happiness, even if it's just for a few moments, it might help shift you out of this fear, this anxiety, and this kind of negative talking. You might help you move on, start the process of healing and forgiveness, or whatever this is, to kind of move you to the next stage. Because I feel like you've been really bogged down with this anxiety, whatever's going on. I really feel like it's been a burden on your shoulders for a while. And I think you're at the place now where it's time to kind of, sometimes you can never really get rid of those burdens. You can never really fully close them out. But I think it's time that you need to start realizing that you have to pick up the pieces, or you have to start kind of moving forward a little bit with whatever aspect of your life this is representing for you. Now, you have Sirsophorus or something. Anyway, allow yourself to receive. And I think this is really positive. I think this is saying that even with the little things, you might have little luck here and there, and you need to just like receive that luck. You need to receive that happiness. If things are going well, acknowledge that they're going well, or if something happens, even if somebody holds the door open for you somewhere and it makes you a little happy, be thankful for it. So sometimes when we receive and we give gratitude, we are allowing ourselves to receive more because we're feeling gratitude for that. So I think you just need to be open to the things that you are receiving and just like acknowledge that these might be little blessings, even if they're just tiny little blessings, but Sometimes those tiny little blessings throughout the day, if you acknowledge them, it helps you focus on obviously something else as well, other than some of the problems you might be facing. And remember your worth. So this is really important, because I think sometimes when you get into this anxiety and this negative self-talk stuff, you're putting yourself down. You're not really realizing the great things that make you, you. You know, you're not maybe feeling as good as somebody else within whatever, but each of us are different. You know, it's incredible. We're so many people here on this planet, and we each are very unique people and individuals. So you need to celebrate your uniqueness and celebrate your strengths, even celebrate your weaknesses. Sometimes those weaknesses just help you understand yourself more. Like, I have certain weaknesses that I know I'm never going to quite be good at, but I acknowledge that, and it's because I acknowledge it and I don't see it necessarily as a weakness now, I'm able to kind of, even when it comes up or I have to be in a situation that maybe not my strength, I'm able to kind of capitalize on certain strengths I do have to help kind of go around maybe a weak area. So it's about kind of knowing yourself a little bit more as well. Now, you have boat, receive what you need, progression, arriving, moving on, closure, issues. And you also have like allow yourself to receive here. So I feel like you just need to kind of allow yourself. I wonder if this, for some of you, if you feel, I don't want to say if you feel, but you might need to like allow yourself to receive forgiveness as well. Maybe you screwed something up in the past. I'm telling you right now, every single person on this planet has screwed something up at one point or another, you know, intentionally, non-intentionally, regretfully, whatever. We've all messed something up. It's just the human experience. So you come here, you screw stuff up, and hopefully you make it to the end, you know? So I think sometimes you need to kind of even forgive yourself, or you need to have some type of closure on something. And I definitely think this month you're going to be working on it. I definitely think you're at the point where you're realizing you can't have this ghost haunt you any further, and you need to kind of work on some of this internal stuff. But I definitely think you're going to be moving forward. And by the end of the month, I think you're going to be really in a good place. But it definitely is time to move from one negative situation or a negative thought process into something more positive. And mask, not showing true feelings, hide, personify, pretend, delude, gaslighting. So somebody in your life might have been, I don't want to say they're shady. I'm not going to sit here and say they're shady, Tauruses, but they might be shady. So this anxiety and this kind of heartbreak or this kind of negativity that you're giving yourself, maybe from somebody else. Somebody could have broke your heart. Somebody could have screwed you over. It could have been some situation in your life that just, you got blindsided. You didn't see it coming. They wore a mask. But I think this is really saying that you need to kind of forgive yourself and maybe even forgive that person or that situation and start moving forward. But even not showing true feelings, this could even be you are trying to hide your feelings. Maybe you feel like you have to put on a show to other people, and maybe kind of like letting down some of that wall or that letting go of that kind of show might help you move forward with this. But also, you know what I'm kind of getting? Sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. So if you're going to know for yourself which works for you. If you've been feeling really down and kind of doubting yourself and your skills, you might have to actually put on a mask in a way and fake it till you make it type of thing. I really feel like you're kind of trying to move forward, and sometimes we don't really feel we're capable of something, but you have to just like pretend that you are in order to actually become. So some of you might actually have to do that. Some of you might actually just have to fake it till you make it within whatever this is. Because the magician, he's faking it till he makes it. He has all this stuff. He's not entirely sure. And each show he puts on, he gets better at it because he screwed stuff up. That's what the magician does. You know, you play around, you screw it up. Sometimes the rabbit doesn't come out of the hat. You know, sometimes the rabbit just runs off or eats a hole in the hat or whatever. So you have to play around with it. You have to get your gist of the situation. You have to kind of understand the shortcomings, the good stuff. So you might just have to fake something till you make it and just pretend. And I think that's not always a bad thing, especially if you're trying to do something different or a little bit outside your comfort zone. Now, true love, this is a romance of a lifetime. Now, this could indicate love, but this could also indicate that By you moving forward and letting something go, letting some of these fears and anxieties go, and kind of, I don't want to say facing them, but trying to move past it, whatever you're moving towards could be really, really positive for you, because the magician here is saying you have everything you need to make this work. And to me, that's really, really positive. Now, life is like an ocean. Sometimes it is calm seas and everything is smooth sailing. Other times you have to swim against the waves. And that's how it is. Sometimes things never really go 100% correct. Like a lot of times I'm hitting up against resistance. I feel like I'm swimming upstream all the time. Sometimes I just want to be like, I just want the stream to just kind of help push me along, But I have that, I don't know, it's in my life where it's like constantly I feel like I'm always going to battle with stuff. I always have to swim upstream, or anything I do, it's always like I'm hitting up against resistance, and it's frustrating and it is tiresome. But what else am I going to do? That's the way my life is, and that's the way it's going to be, and that's what I got to do. So I think sometimes this is saying that whatever these anxieties and these fears or this feeling of like hopelessness may be, it's going to happen. And it happens to us all. Nobody's life is perfect. And sometimes things may seem a little bit calmer, but sometimes you just have to keep on moving, even when it's hard. And I think this is saying that you just have to keep moving forward. It's time for you to move past whatever has been plaguing you. Now you have, today I am responsible. Today I will make good choices that will bring me health and happiness. And I think this is an amazing affirmation that if you need to tell yourself every day, to remind yourself that you are in control. Because sometimes when we have these fears and this anxiety, this energy, and these thoughts, we feel like we're not in control. But you need to get in control of your mind. It's easier said than done. I know, I'm working on it myself. But if you just tell yourself every day, like, I'm in control, I'm responsible, I'm not going to entertain any negative thoughts or any negative chatter in my brain, one step at a time, one day at a time, even if you have to take it 1 minute at a time, like, you can do it. And for your Bob Ross, we have, be so very light, be a gentle whisper. And I think this is saying that, in a sense, like, sometimes our thoughts in our mind, because I feel like you have a lot of this heavy kind of thought energy going on here, and this is your little bit like challenging you or has been challenging you. Your mind is your worst enemy, Taurus is, but I know that sounds dramatic, but I really think that's what's going on. If you're having like these negative thoughts, you need to kind of maybe, I don't want to say lighten them up. It's sometimes hard to stop this flow or stop the stream of those thoughts, because if you're so used to doing it, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's in your comfort zone to actually have those negative thoughts. But if you try to have them, like, if you consciously, when it's going on, you're like, okay, this is going to be like a gentle whisper and they're going to blow away. And you try to then maybe have some positive thinking or kind of motivational stuff, or even listening to some motivational videos on YouTube. There's some motivational people that I love listening to. And when I get depressed or whatever, like, I'll listen to them because I just enjoy the way they speak. I enjoy the stories they tell. I find them very inspiring. So if you have to do that to help you kind of shift out of that negativity, there's a lot of resources that you could do. But all that negative stuff, it's a gentle whisper that can just blow away. And let's see what spirit of the dish we have for you. You have the spirit of the banana split. Okay. So I just moved that. For your dinner and a movie, you have comedy films and Mexican food. And for the energies that you either need to be aware of or tap into, you have Pisces, and this is about vision, creativity, and illusions. So some of you, your illusions, you might need to really be aware of. If there's this negative self-talk, that's all illusions, but you might need to just tap into a lot of creativity this month. And you also have Gemini, which is about communications and thought processes. And sometimes they're like the devil advocates. I always see them as the dual twins, the devil's advocate. But sometimes that's not a bad thing, but you need to watch that, because I do that a lot to myself. I have Gemini, I think it's Gemini moon. And in my mind, it's always constantly this, like, it's almost like a push and pull. It's like constant, like, a discussion, seeing both sides or multiple sides, and it gets sometimes a little bit ridiculous. Like, it gets crazy, it gets too much. So sometimes it's actually very helpful because it helps me figure out a better route, because I'm like analyzing things from different aspects, and it helps me actually kind of figure something out a little quicker or a better way. But then other times it could be detrimental when it's like negative stuff and it's just constantly. So you'll know for yourself, but there's something with your thoughts that you need to definitely watch this month, and you need to make sure that you're really focusing on like the good stuff. You have the moon here, which is also about emotions and habits. So you really might need to watch your emotions and any negative habits that you might be having. And the moon, it's also kind of like it represents like not seeing everything. Like sometimes you got to feel things out. You got to put one step in front of the other, and you just have to focus on what you're doing at that moment, because you can't see really the long-term goal, but you have to trust that you're going to get to where you need to go. And you also have Mars here. And this is about energy, initiative, and temper. So I think this is, to me, the Three of Wands, it's about kind of like that initiative, that having the energy that you're going to be kind of going somewhere like a longer term thing, and you're pushing forward and you're really going to be doing it. So I think you just need to have a lot of that. And you have 2 third houses here, which represents communications, intellect, communities, and relationships. And then you have the number 4, which means it's an even number. So that means the special guest that'll be answering your question today, Tauruses, will be Mr. Predicto. Think of those questions because he'll be out here shortly. With L, C, X, U, W, Y, T, S, A, and 6. And you have passion. And I think that's really positive, because there might be something that you're really passionate about, and you might just need to kind of focus on that a little bit more. Well, let's see what little charmy we get for you. Okay, so you have this like weird, I don't know if it's a black flower, but I call it the black blob of, it's like an abyss. So it's the black blob of the abyss. That's what I've decided this is. So to me, this is saying that you may be feeling that you're getting like sucked into an abyss of negativity. But I think what this is saying to me at this moment is that even though this is a gold lining, every black abyss has a silver lining. So maybe you're feeling that, you're spinning out of control. You can't really see the path ahead. You need to do something different, but you're not really sure how to like do it or manage it, or how you're going to figure it out. But I think this is saying that although everything seems dark and kind of like maybe a little bit like blah at the moment, there is like a silver lining or a gold lining in this case. And eventually that will become known to you. And I feel like even if you feel like you're in this abyss, there's always a way out. You just need to figure out how to climb the walls. You have to figure out how to climb out of that energy. You have to figure out how to climb out of that like helplessness. If you're feeling a little hopeless, helpless, not really sure direction you're going to go forward, sometimes you just need to take one step at a time, even if you can't really see the end goal. Even if it's a little thing, like do something nice for yourself, one thing at a time, to help you climb out of that energy. Because I really feel like you have this like energy of just very stressed out, very unhappy. But you can do it. There is a way out. What this is saying is there is a way out. Okay, now it is time. Okay, Tauruses, think of your question and let us ask. Oh, Mr. Predicto, the most accurate prediction to device that's ever run off of batteries. What is the answer for Taurus's question?
It is a strong possibility.
Okay, so he said it is a strong possibility. So I definitely think, that's a very close to yes. Maybe not 100%. Things are not quite pinned down, but it's almost a yes. So he's a man of many words, and those were the words he chose to speak here today. I hope you all have a wonderful month, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.